Bing! Is it a Thursday? I think it's a Thursday. It is the Kent Beck Scrum. Here we are, Kent Beck, author of XP, Extreme Programming. He's awesome. Wish we could get him in the Scrum. Anyway, it's Thomas and Puneet and Sam here. We're just doing our Scrums, the first Scrum for Thomas. So the way we do Scrums, we just sort of go around each person, talk about struggles and successes that they're having, or often what they've done, if anything's blocking them, and what they plan to do. So starting with me, I have been basically the whole afternoon's been transcribing video lectures for AV102 to make up for the fact that the older lectures are, me speaking too fast and mumbling, and yes, I don't know if it's a big procrastination exercise, but I'm almost there. I think a couple more days, and I will have everything transcribed. Spent a nice time at the end of the Scrum this morning, working with Piotr, looking at testing levels in the local support projects, and that was nice. And both Piotr and Marowen seem to be making good progress on the local support project, which is very nice to see. I've done a blog post for Craft Academy, and so things basically under control. Tomorrow Autograders client meeting and trying out the new rubric for peer review of pair programming. So yes, there we go. My life dedicated to training Google how to do text recognition. Puneet, how are things with you?
So I think it's quite the same as the last Scrum today.
Yeah.
So I haven't made much progress on the two issues. The one is the changing the banner, and another is it's just my own out of interest. So the
trying to get locally set up with the login sign up issue.
Yes. Other than that, everything is under control.
Okay, so nothing blocking you then?
No, nothing at all.
On the Website One project. Okay, good stuff. And Thomas, maybe you can't use your microphone. Obviously, it's the first one. You're not necessarily involved in any Agile Ventures projects, but feel free to, if you want to use the chat there, to tell us about anything that's going on with you. Perhaps you're coding and you're struggling with code on something. Feel free to let us know what, if anything, is challenging you. Anyway, we'll leave. Again, of course, if it was Slack chat, we could see if you were typing. But so that's our quick Scrum. But I'm assuming, so Thomas is here for the AV102 and wants to be able to vote on some stories and get a video link and get the assignment done. So since Puneet and I are both working on the Website One, we might do that project. So Thomas is saying he had a full day of meetings, so he didn't code very much today, and it's always a shame. Yes, I'm silly. I've been transcribing. I want to do more coding. It would be good just to do constant coding. If only I could code. Yes. Anyway, so let's have a little look at, shall we, the waffle board for. So this is then the confusing thing, perhaps for Thomas, if we do the Website One, is we've actually switched from using Pivotal Tracker to Waffle, which is like Pivotal Tracker, but it uses GitHub as the back end. So all of the GitHub issues are sort of translated here into tickets that can be moved around on this board. So, but we can similarly vote on stories and so on. So I'll just have a little look here in our ready thing. Do we have anything to vote on here? We've got a couple of bugs there. There's an enhancement here. Yeah, here's something. Okay. So anyway, I'll just say the Website One project is the project that supports the Agile Ventures site itself. And so we've got a little task here. This is an enhancement. It's up for grabs. We had Mike there, that's the Lupus. He was noticing that, he was saying in the pairing notifications channel here, that our automated bot posts in it uses the channel tag, and he was saying, wouldn't it be better if it was just like using the @here tag? So you might be familiar with Slack, is that @channel will kind of do a more aggressive notification to everybody in the channel, and the @here one will just only notify the people who are currently online. So, and I think he was saying this particularly because he was in that channel and it was like making his phone vibrate every time somebody started pairing. Um, so yeah, it was. Although I was sort of saying to Mike, sort of the way that we've got this set up on the Slack is kind of, if you want to, it's kind of like you can choose to be in this channel or not. So kind of, and also, we do have like a lightweight notification going to, you can see here, like the general channel has a notification that doesn't have anything associated with it. But anyway, so we've got here. I mean, it's always asking the question. Uh, yeah, there's sort of a discussion going on here rather than there necessarily being a very clear issue. I'm almost of the mind here is that what we might want to do is rather than change the pairing. I think the pairing notifications at channel is quite, at least personally, for me, that means when I've been offline and I come back on. I mean, I turned off the email notifications because the channel thing is just ridiculous in Slack anyway. When I come back online, it's nice to see that who's been, like a 3 or a 2 or whatever next to this thing to let me know that there's been a certain number of pairing activities recently. Anyway, so I'm going to maybe change this into to here, say like, maybe we should let's have the @here tag in the pairing and Scrum events going to general and project channels as a start, and we could vote on that. Does that all make sense? Any questions about any of that?
So, I mean, I don't think it any change in the existing communication that the way it is structured behind the scenes. I guess it's just limited to some sort of configuration change.
Well, it's interesting because what's happening, the way we have it set up is we have the code base for website 1, which is here, and the code, like we've got like a service in there, which is our Slack service, and the Slack service, which I think was somewhat ironically, rather than posting directly to Slack, goes to this Slack bot that we've got, which is the Agile bot. So if I go over here and we look for the Agile bot, but that's running on a separate Heroku instance, and it has like a CoffeeScript thing here, and so this is kind of like its own untested thing. And I think, can we find here's like a pairing activity? We've got send Slack message there, so channels, rec, body title, link, and so on. Yeah, so you can actually, so here you can see, like actually just here, it's the presence, or like this is the place where what gets sent is kind of configured, and there's no configuration option. There's just the string that gets sent. So if I make that a bit bigger, you can see here, for example, if there's a Scrum activity, then the general channel receives this link. So that's the string of the message that's sent, and then this one receives this string is sent. So that happens to have an @channel prefix, whereas this one doesn't, and similarly for under here. So in principle, making this change, all it would require, let's say that we wanted to have this one, have an here in front of it, it would just be inserting the text string in front of that and then redeploying this agile bot to its Heroku instance. Did that make sense?
Yep.
So perhaps we could go for a vote on that. I think there's various other little things that we could tweak and twist to try and make these notification links nicer, but let me go to, I want to go back to Waffle. Where's Waffle gone? Here's Waffle. Yes. So let's go for a vote on this. This is the specific issue there. What I'm going to do here, Thomas and Puneet's seen this many times before, is I'm going to put a little link in it. So we are voting. Oops. We're voting on this story. So I hope we want to get to Thomas. If you can, I'll say like we'll put. We've got to Thomas. There we go. Let's just make sure that you're in that channel. I'm going to invite you in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the this environment for voting on this story. So if you can get your Slack client up, Thomas, and now what we're going to do is we're going to vote on the complexity of this as being 1, a kind of trivial change, 2, the intermediate might involve database or a new gem or something, and 3 for it's sort of more complex, bigger challenge and so on. So what you want to do is don't press enter yet, but type either 1 or 2 or 3 into here, and then get ready to hit return on my signal. Okay, so if you've got your 1, 2, or 3 ready, well then I'll count down to 3, 2, 1, go. And I maybe should have asked for a confirmation for Thomas. No, can you not? That's a shame. Oh well. I mean, you can always type your vote in the other, in the Google chat or what have you. I guess maybe you couldn't find the websites. Yeah. So if you're in the web, see here, like if you're in the website, basically, I mean, you could share your screen, Thomas, if you want. If you're in the Slack environment, I mean, there's a mechanism here to browse and join the different channels. It should be that website 1 would pop up. I did this invitation process for you, and you should see the website 1 channel just appear in the list. There you go. Yes. So now you can just do you're in there. You can just do your vote. So
actually,
go on, Puneet.
I was more inclined, towards giving, although it's a trivial change, I was more inclined to give it a 2 just to go through, the test. What are the tests running behind the scenes for if there is any test for Agile bot or
Yes, well, I mean, yeah, that's an interesting point that you make, Puneet. I mean, one of the things I'm not so happy with this current setup that we have here, in as much as we've got this untested kind of hacked together CoffeeScript that's doing this thing. It seems to me to be kind of more engineering than we need. I mean, that there are different things that we could be doing here. We could be saying, let's just make that quick change and get it out and not worry about it. Another thing would be to say, well, let's work out how to test this CoffeeScript. Another thing would be to say, well, actually, rather than having, we've got this service in our website 1 in Ruby that's doing this. Why, rather than going out to a separate service that's pretty much got like 2 pieces of logic and a little bit of formatting, why don't we just have that, in Ruby, and that would be relatively easily tested in there. I think that to answer my own question, in the first instance, it would be nice, because we have this like as an active thing, and that we're seeing this stuff coming through every day, so basically, if it stops working, we kind of know instantly. So the argument for having strong testing on it is maybe slightly weaker than perhaps some other places. I think if we were adding logic rather than just changing the formatting, then I think that would be another. I would be saying, if we're adding any more logic to this, I mean, and this was written, sort of as a testy script by somebody else who was just sort of playing with CoffeeScript and the Whobot and so on. It was Sam Pretty who set that up for us. So I think if we, in this case, I would be just tempted to experiment it, because I personally have never made a change to the formatting in here before. But yes, I think for the time being, we kind of came to an agreement there that was a 1. So we'll stick a 1 on that.
Sure.
Yeah. And then so for Thomas, sorry, I should have double checked that you were in the website 1 channel there. The idea is, of course, that we all vote together rather than seeing each other's things in order to expose any differences in our assumptions about how how difficult a thing might be, and then that allows us to have a discussion around that. But so you've now completed your assignment. I'll give you the links that you need there, Thomas. So, for example, this is I'll put put that into the Google chat for you. We've got you've got the YouTube link, and then instead of the Pivotal Tracker link, you can use this link to the GitHub issue. I'll put them also into the chat there for you as well in the project. Yeah, that's that. And I would say let's do. That was sort of a trivial one, you know. I would say let's do some more, but I've probably got to get on. Any questions from you, Thomas, about any of that? Great show. Well, fantastic, you know, to have you in the session. I hope you're enjoying the course, and we'll look forward to seeing you again, you know, when you have the opportunity. Yeah, I'll say, Puneet, I guess I'll catch up with you tomorrow, and Thomas, feel free to join any future scrums if you're interested, and happy trails.
Sure.
Okay.
All right then.
All right, bye for now. Take care, guys.